Oh, hey, friends. One day we're going to get our intro music back. One day. We need new intro music. I don't know what it is yet, but we need new ones. Hey, I'm Armchair.
Do you make intro music?
I mean, I can.
That was more like a question for the community.
Someone makes it. I'll tell you who was making it. Tank was getting it ready for us, and then Helene said, "Hold my beer," and then it spun it around like a billion times, and then threw it up.
Now it's tagging Milton in.
Yeah, it's the
Tampa Bay is going to get like wiped off the map tonight.
It's not a good situation. T's and P's to our friends in Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. No Florida fuckwits tonight. We're going somewhere else later. Don't worry about it. I saw there's a dude on Twitter named Lieutenant Dan who is, well, they're calling him Lieutenant Dan on Twitter.
Of course they are. Yeah.
He is staying behind in the hurricane. Tampa Bay city government has been like, hey, you need to evacuate. He's living on a houseboat in the bay. They said he was evacuated. He did not. He is still down there as of like an hour or two ago.
I mean, that's pretty
stupid.
That's a bold choice. It's a bold strategy.
Somebody went and checked on him. They're like, hey, how you doing? He's like, well, my boat was clanging off the wall over here, so I had to undo some strings, but we're doing good. We're fine. It's like, storm hasn't even started, brother. Your boat's going to be in pieces soon.
So we get hurricanes up here. You guys get some, not a lot.
We get, like they always are like, there's a hurricane coming and it's a tropical storm by the time it gets here. It's never.
So
it's nothing like they're doing.
We've had a couple of Cat 3s that have hit up here, like, because we're direct on the coast. Like, we're just kind of sticking out there. So that it's like, if it just makes a beeline up, we gotta watch out for this next one that's coming because it doesn't look great. And it's not great. Like, when I was younger, we lost like the siding on our house. We had no power for like several weeks. My dad lost some like coworkers because they were like hit by falling trees. Like, shit's legit. It's a dangerous place to be. You should not be in that kind of storm. And like, I understand the appeal of like, I'm just gonna stay. It's like, I don't know if you know what like 9 feet of moving water means. I don't know if you understand what that is. It's not like it's not just like the water comes up. It's like it's moving. It's going.
I saw there's this graphic that's been going around today. It's like, this is what 3 feet of water looks like. Now imagine 15.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
No.
All right, let's get. It's the best time of year, man. It's the best time of year.
It's overwhelming. I'm overstimulated.
I'm gonna be honest. Fuck the NBA. I don't have time for that shit right now. I'll check in on the NBA
if the Celtics weren't reigning, defending world champions, then I would care a little less. But every game is life or death right now.
You're fine. You'll be fine. They're really okay. Are they at least one of the top 8 teams in the East? Yes. Then they're fine. They'll make the playoffs. Then they got a chance to defend, as long as they don't completely do it. NHL season
might be bringing Rob Williams back now too.
Can you imagine? NHL season is kicked off yesterday, officially. I don't count those global games; they were fine, but this is it. This is the answer.
Tav's right. That is the 100%. Correct answer.
Yeah, don't have time for it.
Christmas Day is the season opener.
Yeah. Whatever you do before then doesn't really matter.
Nope.
So the NHL kicked off yesterday. Utah, first win as Utah.
Nameless.
Yeah, but they had like, it was sold out, and I forget what the number was, but it's at least 2 times the size of what the University of Phoenix Online stadium was.
It's the Church of the Latter-day Skates.
That's
going to be packed.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, they are taking Christmas. NFL is taking Christmas. NFL takes anything. Anything you want, they're like, it's ours. Give me that.
NFL is the America of sports.
Give me that.
Actually, we're going to start playing on Friday. There's nothing you can do about it. I like when the NFL did that last year, and like towards the end of the year, they just stopped caring what day is what. They're just like, we'll air games whenever the fuck we want to, and you're gonna watch them.
Yeah, you're gonna watch it. Wednesday football, sure, sounds good to me. So Utah got the first win. DFS lines were pretty solid.
Shout out Utah.
I did all right with the daily fantasy yesterday. Dropped another one today. Join the Discord. Keep giving the shit away for free. I should be charging, but I'm a polite Canadian, so I haven't. Any big takeaways today? We've got another 5 games. Habs and Leafs. Obviously, your Bees, not a great start.
That I was talking to friends about hockey before Swayman was signed, and I was like, I'm not watching a game until they get that deal done and he's between the pipes. I said it in my article too. I'm not doing it because I knew that was going to be the result. We got absolutely dumpstered by the Florida Panthers the other night. I turned it off after the first period. I heard Frederick tried to fight Kachuk. Kachuk said no. He didn't drop the gloves. Frederick said he's the one that challenged him. Listen, it's a like one-on-one bitch move, but you also have to expect it when you're playing the Florida Panthers. That team's knocked you out of the playoffs the last 2 years. They live rent-free in our heads. They're going to do shit like that.
Owned you.
Can't be faulted for that. Korpisalo was terrible last night. Rebound central. Everything was just skating right back out to a Florida Panther stick.
I hope you don't have to play him a lot because it's going to be bad if you do.
It was bad. It was bad. Also, I liked that Ullmark got the exact same contract Swayman did, just half the length. Still 8.25 average. Swayman signed his deal. It was this big holdout thing, and then Ullmark's like, by the way, I'm going to sign my check right there, too. I'm glad he's back. I know why he's not starting. Like he's got people bitching about that. They're like, well, why paid him this money? Why isn't he starting? Like,
got to get up to speed.
How that works? Yeah, he's especially goalies. They need that preseason action to see real.
You got to get
5-on-5 exactly. It's still game speed. Like practice is practice. You're going to need to get a little bit of time under your belt. Get back with the team. I'm not super worried. That was the big hole is goalie. I think we're going to be the same version of the Bruins we have been for the last few years. We're going to be great. We're going to make it to the playoffs, and we're going to choke.
Well, it says your version of French is kids who come over to watch hockey but are really there for the weed.
Yeah. We all share. It's okay.
Everybody shares. I have a funny story I'm going to tell you about Stone Stories. About
my friends dipped out of the Steelers-Cowboys game the other night, though. After that delay, they're like, all right, I'm going to head out.
We'll do this before Stone Stories, but remind me. I got a good one for you. Stone, little armchair Stone Stories.
Let's go.
St. Louis wins against the Kraken in what is predictable at this point. Chicago is still a rebuilding team. I don't know who was expecting them to take a giant step forward. They have a power play line that has Pat Maroon on it, and that should tell you everything about the Blackhawks. Pat Maroon does not belong on your power play. It's like Maroon and Khrushchev and
Pat Maroon didn't belong on a power play in the 80s, let alone right now.
It's ugly. And then tonight we've got 5 games: Leafs, Habs, Rangers, Pens, Crosby making he's, I don't know, some ridiculous thing. Canucks, Flames, Golden Knights, Avalanche, which should be electric, and Jets, Oilers.
Devils looked really good in their first 2 games. I know they lost one of them to Buffalo, but they still looked a lot better than they did. Markstrom looked fantastic. That first game, you're like, oh shit, the Devils just figured this out. Jack Hughes just dominating.
I don't know.
I don't know. That was pretty good.
We'll see if they're not very good.
See if they hold up. They always get hurt.
Last season, I need to remind you that they were a wagon for the first 2 weeks.
They were.
They were an absolute wagon for the first 2 weeks, and then
they also played the Buffalo Sabres twice. So.
Then they lost their defensive captain to the harassment. You can't do that. Don't do crimes. I need to read you this power play line. It's Pat Maroon, Ryan Donato, Philip Kurashev, Alec Martinez, and Craig Smith. That's your second power play unit. Chicago, do better.
Three former Bruins on the forwards.
They're all fourth liners. Like
they were all third and fourth liners on the Bruins. Like
they're all grinders. Like, what are you doing? We're like, all right, go in, get pucks in deep, and just grind them down. It's like, but coach, we have a man advantage. It's like,
Ryan Donato and Pat Maroon.
And Pat Maroon with Kurashev and.
I want to know how long they keep that power play line together. Like, I need end of season stats for that line. It'll be like 6 games played minus.
Most shorties ever given up in an NHL season by a singular line. Got asked by MVT earlier today, early predictions. You want to give yours? I gave mine on the Twitter. I think that we have the Leafs making it out of the first round.
I don't.
Well,
I won't say it. I won't say it till I see it.
I think the Avalanche. I think
the West is super hard.
I think the Avalanche win the Cup. I think the East is pretty wide open. I think Florida is the class of the East now. And until somebody proves me wrong.
That's how I feel. I'm like, I don't know who's going to beat Florida in the East.
No one.
So I feel like that's just easy. You're like, okay, the Florida's probably going to make it to the Cup.
Maybe.
Unless, barring something crazy or a team gets really hot. Like, who are even the competitors for them? The Rangers, the Leafs.
It's the Rangers, the Leafs. It's the Rangers and the Leafs in that first tier.
Yeah.
And then the second tier is like a really muddy group of like what's left of Hurricanes, Boston,
Shersty, Carolina.
Yeah. Like all of those fringe playoff teams have a chance. Like so Montreal's in a rebuild. They might get the 8th spot and get hot, but not likely a playoff team.
Philly.
Detroit, Red Wings. Red Wings could do it.
Yeah, Detroit could do it.
Detroit's
still so unproven, though. And it's like the second we tried to give them something last year is when they started to fuck up. We're like, oh, Detroit might make a push. Like, the easier plan's finally coming together. And then all of a sudden they fell off the map.
So, can this team beat Florida in the playoffs? The Devils.
Yes, easy.
The Capitals.
Easy. I have 4 games. Sorry, Tao.
Pens.
Yeah, same story.
Flyers.
One of my hot takes is the fucking Penguins miss the playoffs. Again.
Probably. Flyers? Yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
Rangers. And that's where it gets like a bit dicey, right?
But like that's the first team where I'm like, I don't think like they probably won't sweep them.
Rangers, and then it's like Islanders, Blue Jackets, Hurricanes, Lightning.
They really not, Tao? That's so far away.
Yeah, it's forever away.
They really did fuck that schedule up, huh?
Senators, I don't think are going to be any. They're going to be better, but they won't be great.
God, yeah, you don't play till Saturday. What the fuck?
Sabres are already 0-2 on the season, so like they're not. They have 80 games to right the ship, but they're already 0-2.
That'll be New Jersey's 4th game, and it will be the Capitals' 1st. Sorry, I'm still listening, Armchair. I'm just distracted.
I know you are. I know. I just don't see who's beating Florida out of that group. It's the Rangers. No,
I don't either. And that's why I was saying I feel like the East is easy. The West is where things start to get more like, there's a lot of really good teams in the West. I really like Colorado. I still like Dallas. I really like Vancouver.
You haven't even said the Cup finalists from last year.
Great. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's how deep the West is. Like, you can never count out Edmonton. There's so many teams. The Kings pulled it together to get into the playoffs last year. They have a lot of young talent on that team. Who knows where they end up? Nashville just went on that huge spending spree, and they already made the push at the end of the year last year. There's a lot of shit that could happen in the West.
My hot take is Vancouver doesn't make the playoffs, or if they do, it's like as an 8. Demko's still out.
I know he is. Yeah, you were the one that was high on that on the Spider, though.
Oh, I love Sheloffs. Love Sheloffs. But that was like but I was also high on Lori last year in the playoffs. That's playoff Lori. That's different. He was like minus 4 in that opener.
Terrible.
Like, it was so
awful.
bad. So, like, you know, the playoff guy is different than the other guy. I like what Nashville did. I think Colorado can't be written off because they had a bad year last year. They were hurt a lot. And, like, you got McKinnon on that roster, you're going to be good.
They got screwed by the Nichushkin saga again.
They did. So, like, I think Colorado is, like, a step forward. Nashville's going to be better. Dallas is still good, although they lost some of their defensive depth. Edmonton is still good. Vegas is still good. St. Louis has an outside shot, and everybody's going to laugh at me, but Utah, formerly Arizona, formerly Phoenix, formerly Arizona again, are actually a really good young team. Clayton Keller, dog.
Keller's
like
a dog.
Hayton, dog. Like, they're a good team. Their goalie was like phenomenal. It was phenomenal last night.
Was he $8.25 million a year? Phenomenal.
He doesn't have to be, because that's a stupid number to pay your goalie. Hey. I should know. We're paying ours $10.5, and he doesn't even play anymore.
It made me laugh every time they were like, I saw a graphic on goalie contracts and carry prices at the top. I'm like, isn't that fun?
Yeah,
Still
it's
paying
wonderful.
That guy. So worth it?
Stamkos will do it in Nashville? Yes. Stamkos will do it in Nashville. No, it's not worth it. It's never worth it. Don't pay your goalie that much money. It's stupid. You can't build around your team when you pay that much. If it still
be a star player, then yes. If it's win a cup, no.
I think he can win a cup in Nashville. The West is so hard.
It's the same thing with any other team in hockey. If you make it to the playoffs, it's fucking no holds barred. You have a chance.
I think that they have a good team. I think they have a really good team.
I do too. I think they're a playoff team.
Yeah. They're going to be the big. They're going to be the big pick. They'll be the pick out of the West for the pundits. Everybody will like. They were the big spender in free agency, so everybody's going to look at that and go, "That's the team." I still think Dallas is better. I still think Vegas is better. I think Colorado's better. I think Edmonton is still better.
Stamkos is going to be fun though.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be fun to watch. So yeah, I think Colorado wins the cup this year. That's my. That's where I'm putting my flag.
Oh, speaking of contenders, the Rangers.
Yeah.
And goalie contracts. Shersty declined supposedly in 8-year, $11 million average. 8 years over 88, or 88 over 8 years. Excuse me.
He wants the
richest goalie contract in history.
He wants to make more than the bread man.
You cannot pay your goalie that much. 8.25 is like the high end of what you can pay a goalie. That's the highest of highs.
The highest you should pay a goalie ever is 8 if you have a bunch of guys on young contracts where you can make a run. Because as soon as you start having to pay vets, you're out. You're out of the mix. Congratulations, that's your window. 11 is stupid.
11 is absurd. That's asinine. That's like top 5 players in the league make more than that. And you cannot build a team, a Stanley Cup caliber team, to play in front of that goalie when a guy who's only playing 40-ish games a year is making $11+ million. If he's declining that, what is he actually asking for?
He wants the Panarin deal. He wants to make more than the bread man.
It's crazy. Why? Why does it matter?
Ask Toronto how it feels to build around guys who have exorbitant contracts.
Who's going to pay that?
Ask Montreal what it's like to build around a goalie who has a $10.5 million contract. You can't do it.
It doesn't work. So I said even Swayman's deal, like Swayman's deal brought us right to the cap. We are right there. We have no leeway, nothing.
None.
This roster, these stars, this is what you have. Mind you, they still have to negotiate with Brad again. They still have a couple more contracts that are coming up. If New York isn't going to get a deal done with Shesterkin,
who's paying that?
Who's going to pay it for one? Because it won't be a contender. I can tell you that. If you're going to be looking for a contract that's worth $12 million as a goalie, you're going to end up in somewhere like fucking Minnesota, where you're just playing with a new slew of young guys over and over and over again, and you're not going to win shit. You're going to end up in Calgary.
Minnesota did that with Sutter already. They already bought him out.
You're right.
They already paid those guys too much, and they were like, never mind, didn't work.
Didn't work. Not going to do that again. It's the youth movement.
It doesn't work in the NHL. It's not the NBA. You can't bring in a bunch of guys and give them max deals and get to like just be like, it'll be fine. We'll bring in other guys and like.
And that position specifically, like we've talked about it any other time we talk hockey in the playoffs, it's hot goalie wins.
Doesn't matter.
Any guy. Any guy can put on a string of games. If you're an NHL caliber goalie, you can get hot.
Yaroslav Halak almost became the starter in Montreal because of a hot playoff run. They were debating Halak over Price, who they were going to keep, who they were going to trade, which sounds asinine right now.
Halak and Olmark were like going right back and forth. They weren't sure who they're going to go with, and then Olmark pulled away because he got hot.
Yeah.
Now Olmark's making 8.25 in Ottawa. Swayman got hot in the playoffs. He's making 8.25. Granted, I think those guys are great goalies. They're Vezina candidates. I think they're going to stay at the top of their game. But the point is, you can't build a team when you're paying that much money to that position.
It's too much.
Won't work.
It's too much. Any bold predictions before we move on to MLB playoffs, which has been electric?
Paige Thompson's going for 50 this year.
I like it. One last note before we move on to the NHL. I've never felt so bad for a guy than I have for Patrick Laine. Standing in the Bell Center, listening to all of those fans cheering the hell out of him, wearing the swaggiest purple suit I've ever, like, guy dresses like he's in the NBA.
I didn't see the suit. I didn't know.
Oh, you gotta look to see. He's sitting there on his crutch. Can't do anything, and you could tell that that's a guy that wants to be out there like so bad.
Why is he dressed like that?
He always dresses like that.
He's dressed Swaggy like a Chappelle skit.
Yeah. Swaggy as hell, man. Swaggy as hell. He doesn't care. He's like always. You should see this guy's outfits. It's amazing.
What a suit.
Yeah. You
gotta have some confidence to pull that off. I couldn't walk in anywhere wearing something like that. Somebody would look at me and be like,
pimping ain't easy, eh?
I click my cane twice.
We have a little bit
smoke
of
vanishes.
A little bit of breaking news.
Oh shit!
You ready for this?
What's this?
The New York Mets are going to the NLCS for the 9th time in franchise history.
Damn, they're fucking up for
Grimace power, baby.
Is it officially over?
It's over.
Over. Damn, dude. The power of friendship.
The power of Grimace.
The playoff pumpkin. Grimace. I saw a video of Grimace getting on a train in New York, and the place just went fucking ballistic.
What's going on, Joyner?
Yeah, shit is right, Tal. I had the Phillies going all the way.
I also had the Phillies going all the way.
I can't. You look at the Mets and you're like, wow, they have the highest payroll in baseball. Like, they should be here, but there's something about
they've been trash.
Exactly. You're just like, how are they here?
Didn't they barely make it into the, like, didn't they have to have, like, handshake agreement with the Braves?
They had to be like, hey, I'm going to win the early game. You're going to win the late, and we're going to fuck the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Go Tigers, Tal.
Go Tigers.
MLB playoffs are a shit show.
What's your favorite part? We got a couple of big stories right now. So the Tigers.
My favorite part are the late games that I can actually watch. I can't.
Tigers
watch
are
games that are on in the middle of the day.
One game away from moving on.
Yeah, they are.
The Mets have just moved on. The Padres are a game.
Are about to. We need to talk about that series. That series is.
That's my favorite. So that's my favorite series. Everybody was asking me. I was joking around in the Discord earlier that I was having a hard time choosing between my favorite two stories, which are the Padres and the Dodgers, with the Padres beating the Dodgers and the Dodgers choke job, and the Tigers. And everybody says, well, it's obviously the Tigers. And no, it's not. Shohei Ohtani can suck a bat. He hits all these homers, does all this stuff, goes for 50 plus, and now you're going to get bodied by Fernando Tatis Jr.
The flare he puts when he rounds third base is just
little peacock,
just enough to piss you off.
Little peacock. It's what I love about. It's what baseball's about, though. Like, this is what makes like I miss those. Like the Rangers Blue Jays playoff series were chippy, and like every run mattered.
Oh, it really does. Like the Dodgers Padres series, one of my best friends is a diehard Dodgers fans, and he always like is bitching about the Padres back and like why just massive issues with the Padres. And I've never really understood, like, is that really that big of a rivalry? And then watching this series, you're like, Jesus, they hate each other.
Someone's going to be unalived in the field. It's going to be ridiculous.
Real. There's shit getting thrown at Tatis. There's shit getting thrown at Profar. They're going back and forth with each other. They're taunting the crowd. Oh, give me all of it.
Was it Profar that made that catch?
Yes.
And then he like was hopping back like, I got it.
It was so good. He pretended like he didn't make the catch over the wall. Yeah. And
he almost got Mookie again.
I know.
He was this close.
I can't believe how much he sold the crowd and the broadcast. Like,
it was a full
they're
sell.
Like, he got it. Oh, he got it. They had no fucking idea what was going on.
No idea.
Loved it. Loved every bit of it. That series has been electric. And the Padres are 100% winning that series.
I hope so.
Doubt in my mind. They have all the swagger.
That's all I want.
The Dodgers have all the talent in the world, and this is what they do, time in and time out. And also, the fact that they still have Dave Roberts as their manager and Terry Francona just signed with the Reds has to piss you off.
Christopher J. Kreider and Associates has scored.
The offices of?
Yeah.
Was he in the office? Was he down low?
Yeah. It is a Breadman has a point too. It's 3-0
Zach Hyman
Rangers.
Was in the offices of Christopher J. for most of the season last year.
3-0 for the Rangers after one. Montreal still up 1-0 over Toronto.
Sheesh. We'll see Montreal tomorrow.
Yeah, you will. We'll probably shit the bed. You guys
in the Garden. Swayman's debut, hopefully.
Who do you have finishing? So we have Royals, Yankees. Yankees are up 2-0. Series is 1-1. That's been back and forth. Tigers are a game away. Mets have advanced. Padres are a game away. So let's assume the leaders of the series continue. So Tigers and Padres move on. And we'll say Yankees move on against the Royals. How does this end up? What does this look like?
Well, the Yankees are being screwed by the league, as always.
Yes.
Insane shit in the Discord constantly. Are you asking me who's going to come back from those series? Who has the best chance? Or are you asking who's going to
out of who's left?
Okay.
Who's going to the World Series? Who's the Tigers, Yankees, Mets, Padres? Who do you got?
Why does it feel like a Subway series?
Because it does feel like a Subway series.
I don't want it to be.
No, I've got
I don't want them to have anything nice.
I'm going to tell you this: if the Tigers don't let the Tigers get hot, somebody let the Tigers get hot. I don't know who.
Tariq Skubal is got to be a top 3 to 5 pitcher in baseball. He's nasty. Everything he throws, you're like, shh. And it hits the mitt different. That slider he throws is disgusting.
He's so good.
I also like that they're rolling out a bullpen game for the clincher. Are they not?
Yeah, they don't.
Love that. No,
they don't care.
So we'll beat you with the bullpen. It doesn't matter. We'll save the starters.
Mets are hot right now.
Mets are crazy hot right now. Pete Alonso was doing dog shit all year long, and then all of a sudden he hits that home run, and now he's ignited. Francisco Lindor ignited. That team is good. It's just a team full of gimmicks, and they're all working. They're all advancing them somehow.
They're all working. Every one of them is working.
Jose Iglesias, if they end up winning the World Series, Jose Iglesias performing his song at the parade is going to get like all-time levels of views. That shit's going to go crazy. I don't know if he's got some like record deal or what, but people are like, please, dear God, win the World Series.
Just win it all.
This thing's going to go crazy. I'm sure he's already made them a fuck ton of money, though.
Is the bigger story the Mets or is the bigger story the Tigers? And they're like $26 million payroll, riding through a game away from advancing.
So it's the Mets, but if the Tigers were located in New York, it'd be the Tigers. I think it's only the Mets because it's got so much push behind it and so many fans. It's essentially polar opposites, right? Tigers have nothing, and they somehow got hot and rallied their way into the playoffs, whereas the Mets are like supposed to be this machine and have never really gotten it done, and now all of a sudden they're realizing their potential. It's a good question.
I feel like I agree with you for a little bit different reasons. I think that the Mets have just been such a 2 seasons they've been nothing but trash,
right?
And they finally clawed. They're they fell into a
mascot come into play, and then all of a sudden,
halfway through the year, they were sell the team,
dead in the water.
Get out of here. We don't want anything to do with you. And the Tigers, admittedly, were in the same position.
I did ask you in July if you thought the Braves or the Mets were going to make the playoffs. And I was like, I think it's going to come down to it. And I think the Mets are going to do it. Turns out they both did.
They both did.
But fucking Mets did get hot.
Fucking Mets.
Fucking Mets, man. I do like the Mets far more than the Yankees. I went to a Shea Stadium one time. It was fantastic.
No hate for the Mets.
No hate for the Mets. If they win it,
they're not there.
So be it. But a Subway Series is going to make me want to puke in my mouth a million times over.
Give me anything but that.
I'll pass.
Go Padres.
Go Padres.
Go Tigers.
Tigers Mets would go hard.
Yeah, it would. Tigers Padres. Give me that.
Also, can the Royals come back on the Yankees so Discord is a nightmare tonight?
Oh, please.
I'll sleep soundly listening to the tears of Yankees fans.
Yankees fans talking about how their team is abject trash until they win, and then they're the best team on earth. I love the up and down.
It's trash. It's garbage. There's one fan base in every sport that does the same thing. It's the New York Yankees. It's the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
They could go undefeated, and it would still be the worst team on the planet.
Yeah, not good enough.
Never enough. It's never enough.
Never enough.
And then but it's also the opposite. They win a game and they're like
championship, going undefeated, 82-0.
Unheralded run.
The NFL was kooky dukes. I don't even necessarily care about the scores this past week because
killed again this week.
The scores are what they are. I do want to talk a little bit about our game because what was that?
Can we you know how some college teams sometimes would be like, oh, they forfeited after the third quarter. Like they had a handshake agreement to end it after that. That's what we should have done, because the fact that I had to watch my fucking Patriots on the TV while the Bengals-Ravens game was going on, and I had to watch Patriots-Dolphins, come on.
Patriots-Dolphins was terrible, but how did that not get ruled a catch? Can you explain that
That's
to me?
a catch. The fact that there's different rules for the end zone and the sideline is fucking bananas. There's no world where that shouldn't have been a catch. And I kept seeing people seeing the picture and be like, you got 1 foot down. Watch the game, motherfucker. Stop commenting on shit on Twitter if you didn't watch the fucking game. It's insane how much people do that.
Tap the toe, and if he did that on the sideline,
and the second one got down, inbounds, ball in hands. Not a catch.
And it's not a catch because, according to the NFL, at the back of the end zone, if any part of your foot comes down in the white after the catch, you're out of bounds. So
absurdity.
So a toe tap on the sidelines, good. We're good with that. Toe tap in the end zone, bad. Not a catch. The NFL doesn't know what they're doing. And that cost Patriots the game, in a game that was entirely winnable. Isaiah Likely's toe touched the boundary, but it was bull. That should have been a win anyway.
Blows my mind that that's not a catch, and we need that amended. They're going to change the entire kickoff, but they're like, if you catch it on the side of the end zone, the back of the end zone, that's a different thing.
I don't think Taylor Swift was showing up for Jacoby Brissett on his last game as an NFL starter. Patriots made a change.
Jacoby Brissett. Moment of silence. Can we get a statue for the man?
Patriots made a change. Officially going to Drake May because Jacoby was the problem. Okay. And what was your
He is one of many problems.
So let's full disclosure. Dubs is going to the game. So
I will be
remember
center.
Remember, whatever he says is colored by the fact that he is going to see this live in action. So, like, let's get that out of the way first. I'm
going to be there in the red throwback jerseys. Nonetheless, oh my god, it's going to be so good! I cannot wait. This is, for as big of a Patriots fan as I am, I've watched every game in entirety for years and years and years and years now. Yeah. I've never been to a regular season game at Gillette. It's my first one.
Are you for real?
Never been. It's my first one. I'm so excited.
It's
gonna be this. It's gonna be Drake May's debut in the red throwbacks. I can't fucking wait. It's gonna be a different experience. So the only game I went to was a preseason game against the Giants where Tim Tebow was on the roster. Just to put that, really date that one. Tim Tebow Patriots jerseys everywhere. It was crazy.
I went to the it was the Scott Zolak 2013 Patriots beat the Saints, back of the end zone, rainbows and ponies and unicorns and all that.
Yes, sir.
And I also went and saw them get destroyed by Buffalo last year.
That's not the Kenbrell Tompkins touchdown, right? That was in New Orleans.
No, it was in New England.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that is the game I'm thinking of. Yeah, okay.
I was there. People were leaving. And Tommy won it, and the entire place erupted, and it was like just hugging. Everybody was hugging everybody. I got more high fives from people than I ever did. The entire drive home in like gridlock traffic. Like I was driving back to Dedham. And shout out to the Holiday Inn in Dedham, because it was a place you could stay that was not expensive. For a reason.
Sure isn't.
For a reason. It's also where I got invited to a strip club on the T. So,
fire. Welcome to Massachusetts.
I've got some stories for you, my friend. We were all driving there, and people were like hanging out their windows, and they're like, "Are you from Nova Scotia?" Because I had my license plate on my car, and I was like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Fucking awesome, man!" Everybody's so happy. They're letting everybody in. It was amazing. So, no,
if they lost, it would have been the opposite. I'm like, get the fuck back to Canada and get out of my goddamn fucking lane.
Yeah. It was a good time. I've been to two. Been to two of them. I got to see Buffalo absolutely eat our lunch last year.
Two big time questions in the chat. Tao, do they have pay by the hour rooms at the?
No.
No, they don't. But veterans know how to get around it. Calvin Joyner, did you go to the club you were?
No. Literally, so went to see the Bruins and Avalanche. Bruins and Avalanche at the Garden. TD Garden.
Electric.
Absolute
electric factory, I'm sure.
October, like hockey, like second game of the season.
Everyone's
third game.
Pumped. We're back in the Garden.
No one's there. It's like
there's no stains places.
You can get wherever you want. And I had a Blue Jays hat on, and like by the time you get to like 5 or we're gonna hate on that Welch. Don't you worry.
We'll get there.
By the time you get to like, I don't know, 5 or 6 stops from like where we were getting off, it was like these two drunk guys were sitting there, and they're like, "Saw a Blue Jays hat?" I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "You're supposed to be my rival," and I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "But it's cool, man."
I know exactly what that guy looks like.
But it's cool, man. And then he was like, "You guys want to come to the strip club?" We did not go. We did not go.
Missed opportunity.
Spencer Rattler. I know. Spencer Rattler starting for the Saints. What a world we live in, where Spencer Rattler is a starting quarterback in the NFL.
We're in a weird NFL right now. Sam Darnold is the MVP frontrunner. Baker Mayfield has resurrected his career in Tampa, and Spencer Rattler, that shit-eating kid from that fucking shitty Netflix show, is about to start an NFL game.
Aiden O'Connell is back in. Favre's back in.
So quote, it's like crazy world, lots of smells. That's the NFL right now.
Minshew is out, in Las Vegas. Raiders have gone with Aiden O'Connell. Why? What's happening?
I'm a Minshew guy through and through.
But I just don't understand why we're doing this move now.
The guy started 9 for 9 in this game, and then got benched after a terrible pick six. I'm not going to try to defend it. He threw it off his back foot across the field to the side of the field that Patrick Surtain is on.
Was it better or worse than the Jordan Love pick six? The little oopsie. Can't be worse. No way it's worse. He threw that ball from the end zone.
It's close.
He threw that ball underhanded, falling out of the back of the end zone.
I know this one didn't result in points, but the Derek Carr interception was worse than both of them on Monday night.
Yeah, that's fine.
That shit was terrible. First drive of the game, they go third down, and I don't know if he didn't have the arm strength. I don't know if he thought he could fit the ball in there. Don't know what the plan was. He just chucked that thing up about 50 yards straight up, and it came right down into a Chiefs guy's arm. I couldn't believe he threw that fucking ball.
Can I be honest with you? I don't know why Jake Haener isn't starting. So he had
either.
So I watched the end of that game. He had 6 throws, and they were all legitimately good throws. They weren't like Olave missed one that he put on his hands. Olave should have had that. And it seemed like he played well enough that he should have probably gotten the chance. We're going to go with this guy, the Nickelodeon quarterback. We're going to play him. I don't get it. And yeah, the Jets doing the Jets doing the jettiest thing they could possibly do. Rob Saleh fired. Not because the defense is bad, which is what he's good at, because the offense is bad. Aaron came out today on McAfee. Yesterday? When does Aaron go on McAfee? Today? Wednesdays? So Rogers went on McAfee and said that he was appalled by the people doing it. And sometimes Aaron Rodgers talks like Andrew Luck, the Civil War general. Do you remember that Twitter account? Civil War General Andrew Luck?
Yeah, it's a fantastic one.
My dearest Emily.
Urinating Tree changed his name to Joe Flacco something other rather, and every time I see it, I'm like, who the fuck is that? I'm like, oh, makes sense.
Just go back. How many quarterbacks have a winning record against Rob Saleh?
Under Rob Saleh.
Oh, under Rob Saleh? None. It's 0.
None. 0.
Yeah, it's 0.
That would be
not one of them.
Zilch.
Yeah.
I saw a stat today that'll make you upset.
He was he's the 4th worst head coach in Jets history.
Trevor Siemian.
Oh, okay.
Well played.
He didn't mean to.
He didn't. He did get the W though.
Royals are back, baby. Royals are back.
I saw today, Armchair, that the Patriots are 7-21 in our last 28.
Yeah, we're trash. We're trash. Mike White?
I actually didn't know he started that many games till I thought he was just 1-0.
I don't think Mike White is. I do love Mike White. Everybody loves
White Lightning, baby.
Yeah, but I don't think he won that many games. He was
just fun in them, yeah. 2-5. That was about what I was gonna guess. I was gonna say 2-4.
It just feels good because he won some games as opposed to the rest who didn't.
And it was coming off of Zach Wilson. You're just anything has to be better.
Does this move the needle for the Aaron Rodgers to the Jets for you? Is he going now? Is he not? Or Devontae Adams to the Jets?
I know.
Is he going? Is he not? Yeah. There you go.
I think it opens it up in a form that it's clearly the Wild West over there, and just Aaron Rodgers is the end-all, be-all.
Do what you want.
But in the sense of like, I want to go win football games. I don't think I want to go to the Jets or the Saints. I think
send me to Baltimore.
Send me where you want to send me at this point, I think.
Send me to Baltimore. I'll play number 2. I'll play number 1, but I'll play number 2 to Zay Flowers. I do that. No problem. I don't know how you wouldn't want to be number 2 to Zay Flowers.
I have no problem doing that. With Derrick Henry in the backfield, Lamar Jackson making crazy-ass circus plays in the end zone. Tao, by the way, that play was absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was. It was nanners.
15 years from now, and you go and look at a Lamar Jackson highlight reel, it'll probably just be in front of your eyes at that point. But that's going to be like the number 1 highlight play. That shit was insane. That and the little juke move he did when he was still in high school. Nobody knew who he was. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it.
He fumbled and he stiff-armed.
Stiff-armed the shit out of Trey Hendrickson, and then he's just dot in the end zone. It was crazy.
It was unbelievable.
Everyone we were watching the games, everyone just went silent. We were like,
that's what you watch it for, man. That's why you watch it.
Jackson. Mark Andrews is dead in the water.
So he's just a blocking tight end now? Is that all he does?
His powers were zapped. He got space jammed.
He got space jammed.
Tucker Kraft space jammed.
Shout out Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft is a dog.
My fantasy
also,
tight
like
end.
that man up every week. He's the only likable person on the Green Bay Packers.
That's a fact. Let's talk undefeateds for a second before we get to some Stone stories. We have one undefeated that I love, and that's Sam Darnold.
Yep.
No, I love that undefeated.
No, I'm with the Vikings.
And then,
I had no faith in them. They've been absolutely lights out all year, offense and defense.
Fully on board, Vikings undefeated. I think that they're fun. They have a plus 63 point differential. They're not turning the ball over. They're scoring points. Jefferson's a dog. Darnold's playing well. I think their first
half differential is like half of that. They just come out of the gates and are absolutely doggone teams.
Yeah. The other undefeated, I don't get.
The Kansas City Chiefs?
I don't like it.
Look at Patrick Mahomes' stats and tell me why they should be undefeated.
You mean Justin Fields? You mean the same guy?
Daniel Jones has better numbers right now. That's
shocking.
Not fallacy. Shocking. That shit is legit 100%.
I don't understand.
I don't really know how they're still winning games. Like I feel like
the defense is good. Defense is good.
Good. Steve Spagnuolo, Massachusetts guy.
Yes. Of course he is.
Fantastic coordinator. That defense is ready to go every single week, and it doesn't really matter who's playing, I feel like.
It doesn't.
It's almost like the Patriots dynasty back in the days. Like, it doesn't matter who's active or not. Their next guy up, it's going to work.
I remember a couple of games during that, like some of that Patriot run where like Tom Brady would throw for like 128 yards and no touchdowns, and they'd still get the win. And people would be like, you killed my fantasy team. And it's like, yeah, but they won. So like, are we really that upset about it? This is what I feel. It's like Kansas City has played some of the worst football offensively, especially over the first 5 weeks of the regular season, and they've won each of those games. You're going to tell me that they're not going to get better? Like, not at all?
Yeah.
They're going to get better, and that scares me because they're already good.
That Chiefs team is really good, but the fact that they're undefeated drives me insane because they shouldn't be.
I don't like it.
They should have at least 3 losses. At least. You're a liar.
I'm looking up most obscure MVPs.
I think he's right. Join our ass across sports who have gone from that irrelevant to a potential MVP, quite like Sam Darnold. I don't know if there is one, and the NFL is so hard because we talk about these other sports like hockey, right? We talk about goalies getting hot in the playoffs. The NFL, we never hear about that, but there's so little games. There's only 17 games in a year, and that's obviously newly implemented. It used to be 16. Sam Darnold has had a great month and a week, and we're like, MVP, fantastic, great. And I'm not trying to knock the guy. He's been lights out. Vikings have been great.
For sure.
But there's a different rating when it comes to players in the NFL because of such a small sample size.
So this is 10 forgotten MVPs. I'm going to read you some of the names off this list.
Is Ken Caminetti's going to be on this list?
He's going to be on this list. The first one they shout out is Sean Alexander, and I don't know if he's forgotten. Sean Alexander was
he's just a running back. Anybody that's ever played fantasy football knows Sean Alexander is a fucking
100%. Terry Pendleton, 1991. He was a Braves third baseman.
I don't know that name.
Jose Theodore. Jose Theodore, the 01-02 Habs.
Yes, sir.
He was unbelievable. Ken Caminetti. You knew it was going to be there.
I knew he'd be on there. There was no way he wasn't going to be.
Mark Mosley, which is always a good one to bring up.
Like, Ken, did you do steroids? He's like, yeah, I got me an MVP. I would do it again.
Mark Mosley is he's always brought up whenever non-quarterbacks win MVP because he's the kicker that won MVP for the then Washington football team. I'm not going to say the canceled name. Barry Larkin, 95.
It was dropped about 5 times on Lost to Talk About tonight. It was like, all right. We just forgot the Commanders existed tonight.
We just forgot they existed. They weren't real. Kevin Mitchell in 1989.
Kevin Mitchell's another one that's like, steroids? Yeah. Don't care. Did a lot of them. Got me a lot of things in life.
Yeah. It was a good time. I mean, look, I think that Darnold is the truest, we talk about comeback player of the year a lot. Everybody's like, oh, well, that guy was bad last year or hurt last year, and now he's exceptional. This is a level above that.
This is what it was originally intended for. Is a guy like Sam Darnold where you're like, he was dead in the water, written off, and he came back and absolutely killed it.
Shout out Gridiron Heights. Phenomenal.
They kill it.
The cartoon. They're always good. Yeah. Yeah.
This week's was
what are you looking forward to?
Good. It was all backup QBs or cast off
the former
QBs. Yeah, such as
former franchise QBs.
Baker as Wolverine was also hilarious. Would you tell
Joe Flacco is Magneto?
Go fuck himself. Yeah,
Joe Flacco, Flacnito. Flacnito.
No, run.
That's too good.
We were saying on lots to talk about. Flacco's the ultimate, I'm just going to pick somebody up off the couch. They haven't played in 5 years. I need a quarterback.
I love it.
It's going to be Joe Flacco. I think he'll still be getting calls when he's 45. They'll be like, yo, could you fill in for 4 games? Franchise QB's down. Do you want to just come? And he'd go out there and sling it.
He might. All right. I told you, I promised you some fun Stone stories.
What do we got?
Okay. So I am a high school student. And I'm taking the public transit. So we have buses here. We don't have trains. We have buses.
Also, fuck Canada. I've been to Toronto. Fuck their train system. Their public
I don't fuck with the TTC.
Sucks. It's terrible.
Mine's fine. I take the ferry every day to work. It's a great time. So
that blows my mind. We live in different worlds. I live in the woods, and you're taking a ferry to go to work.
Yeah, I am coming from a friend's house who, when I went over to that friend's house, was told that their parents would drive me home. And they were like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. You're going to have to take the bus. And it was from way, way out. It was way, way, way out. And it's probably I would say 2 hours on the bus away from where I'm going. And I'm like, this is not going to be fun. So I get on the bus and there's these like guys like hanging out in the back. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know what's going to happen. These guys going to jump me or whatever. And they look over at me and they're like, hey, I'm like,
don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me. Please don't.
What's up? And he's like, you want to smoke a joint?
That was that look.
Oh, yeah. So like, didn't get their names, could have like absolutely like murdered me. We get off at the mall and we just go stand off to the side, have a little puff pass. And then they're like, cool, man, have a great rest of your day. I just went home.
Love that.
They were like, all right, let's go. Rock and roll, man.
As a stoner myself, I wouldn't want to just share with a random person on the metro. But as a stoner myself, I've definitely been on your end of the like, hey, you want to smoke this? I'm like, I guess. Like,
there are no funnier people in the world that are like that are just like, it's like, just chill out, man.
I was at my buddy's college, UMass Amherst, is like notorious party school. We were at our whole night. We're good. Like everyone's in bed. I went outside real quick to smoke a bowl before I head out to bed. I'm walking to the car and I like don't have a lighter. I'm like, fuck, I fucked this up. I can't get back into the place. I found a random car that was bumping music. I walked up to him. I was like, hey, you guys happen to have a lighter by any chance? And they were like, hop in. I was like, don't want to do that, but we did it. And great dudes hung out in there. We smoked weed. They had a bunch of fucking like speakers and surround sound all in this fucking car. They rapped for a while. It was great. I popped out of there, went upstairs and went to sleep. But if anybody asks you to smoke weed, just weed, they're probably going to be great people.
Yeah, it's always a friendly story.
It's never like, oh, I felt like threatened or I was in danger. Most of the time, we're all just like, hey, we'll go with the flow. Yeah.
You want?
Hey, how was your day? Did you work today? Like it's always just the nicest, sweetest conversation you're ever going to have. The last time I smoked with the strangers, I blacked out after the Celtics Warriors finals a couple years ago. Was at the greatest bar out there. Blacked out, like hardest I've ever blacked out in my life. I remember leaving the bar and talking to this dude for a while. Don't remember his name. Don't even know if I got it. I was like, hey, I got weed. See, you're smoking weed. We want to do a little trade-off here. He gave me the rest of his blunt and then walked away. And I remember taking like one hit off of it and just lights out. Just done. Woke up at home the next day.
I love it. All right. You got something for us, Stone Stories? I mean, I dropped your little armchair.
Yeah, we had a couple already, but I've got one official one that we looked at tonight. We're going to the United Kingdom tonight. I decided to give Florida a break. They've got a lot going on.
They've got enough going on.
They got a lot. They don't need me right now. A UK woman was left confused and shaken, which is the perfect way to describe any UK woman, I think. Shaken and confused just seems like the default. A stranger broke into her house, rearranged items, emptied the trash, cooked a meal, and then left. Damian Wojnalowicz. Not bad. Not bad on the pronunciation, if I do say so myself.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
36 years old. He admitted in court on Thursday that he entered the woman's home on July 16th in Monmouthshire.
Okay.
Not bad.
Okay,
without permission while she was away at work. Upon her return, the victim found several items out of place and noticed a few household chores had already been taken care of. She discovered her laundry hung out to dry, refilled bird feeders, cleaned floors, groceries put away, recycling bins empty, and a note written by Wojnalowicz. The message read, "Don't worry, be happy, eat up and scratch." Nonsense. Tell me what that means. The fact that guy was in your house and the only thing he did was your chores is a blessing in disguise. Take that as a win. The unnamed woman also found that Wojnalowicz had consumed items from her kitchen, including a bottle of wine. That right there's payment. I'm not going to clean your house and not get a little bit fucked up. A bottle of wine seems like the least you could do for me. I mean, here, I'm not asking for a 401k. I don't need dental. I don't need any of that. I'm just going to have a bottle of wine. Your house might smell a little bit when I leave.
Listen, this is like I can't even. This is like Goodwill B&E energy. It's like we're just doing it for. We're doing it for the like,
Goodwill B&E.
This is like what Mr. Beast commits a B&E. It's just like a bunch of Feastables and like 10 grand on your table. It's like be happy, man. So what's wrong?
What is? Don't worry, be happy, eat up and scratch. What scratch? What? Like that itch? Like what does that mean?
No thanks.
Yeah, I didn't like
I
that.
don't like it.
But the fact, if somebody wants to break into my house and do nothing but my chores, good on you. I wondered if it was somebody who knew me. She said if it was going to turn into a stalking incident, if he knew I lived alone, if I had been targeted. She didn't know. She's too scared to stay in the home. She left, went somewhere else. A couple days later, same guy was arrested on a different burglary. In that instance, he washed his clothes, had a little snack, and then they had cameras and shit. They caught him.
Yeah.
The fact that this guy is so goddamn crazy that the way he spends his free time is going around and cleaning people's houses that don't want to be cleaned.
I don't get it.
What kind of mental disorder is that? It's like, oh, I like trains. It's like, I go to the people's houses and I clean them. I'm going to do your laundry, brother. You're going to come home, whites, darks, folded, hung up. Everything's going to be done.
I love it.
Meal prep. I got meal prep in the fridge. Everything's done.
That's nonsense.
2 counts of burglary, 22 months in prison. That's what it was worth.
Yeah. I mean, it's not worth it, in my opinion. I don't want to do it. It's like I said, this is very Mr. Beast does a B&E energy.
It really is.
I don't love it.
That's the perfect. It's like a children's book, like teaching you not to break into your neighbor's houses. Like Mr. Beast does a B&E.
Yeah, don't do that. That's not worth it. All right. I think that's it. We got Rangers are up 4-0 on the Pens. Leafs are still down 1-0 on the Habs. Let's go, baby.
Stand by my hot take.
Pens not making it?
Not making it.
We're going to trade Sid. It's going to be brutal. Hey, thanks for jumping in. All 139 of you watching on X and YouTube. We appreciate every one of you.
We got 139 tonight?
140. Yeah, it's wild.
Shout out. Appreciate every one of you.
Appreciate you all. Share it out with your friends. We're live every Wednesday here on YouTube, over on X. We're doing things. We're going to keep talking NFL, keep talking NHL and MLB. Probably not going to talk basketball. That's a Christmas thing.
As long as I can get like a Celtics minute here and there,
you get your Celtics minute. Don't you worry about it.
I have an itch like this. I need to scratch, like Mr. Wojnarowicz said.
Yeah, just scratch, man. Just scratch. Remember, what did he say? What did he give you? What's his line?
Don't worry, be happy, eat up, and scratch.
For Dubs, I'm Armchair. Don't worry, be happy.
There's nothing more terrifying
Eat up and
coming
scratch.
home to your house completely clean and a note, a nice note. I assume there's a seal on it. A nice
probably
signature.
yeah, nice wax seal.
Yes. Oh, fuck.
Send a raven. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. We will see you next week here on Great North Sports. Peace.